fluids. Okay, so in y-axis we are having shear stress, in x-axis we are having deformation rate du by dy. Now in ISRO interview they asked me one thing, that how you will represent solid in tau and du by dy axis. See, here we are plotting tau and du by dy axis, and du by dy. Okay, in solid mechanics, in strength of material, what we plot? We plot stress strain graph. There we are having stress and strain graph. Here also we are having stress and strain rate graph. Okay, because the strain is changing. In solid, strain is constant. Okay, up to if I talk about up to yield strength or elastic limit, the this thing is constant, strain is constant. So there we plot stress and strain graph. Here we plot stress and strain rate graph. Okay, so you should able to compare between solid and liquid always like this. Okay, so now in ISRO interview they asked me how you will represent solid in stress and strain rate graph. Okay, strain means tau and du by dy. So that is, so first I will talk about ideal fluid first. See, this axis or du by dy represents ideal fluid. Why? Because viscosity is zero without applying any shear stress. See, this represents shear stress. So without, in x-axis there is no shear stress. So without applying any shear stress, it is flowing. And we know ideal fluid is something which do not have viscosity. If it is not having viscosity, it will start flow, because it is not having any resistance, and that is the ideal fluid. Okay, now what is ideal solid then? Ideal solid is, if we apply a force, if there is a body and if I apply a shear stress, it will not deform, and that is solid. So this y-axis will be represented by solid. Okay, y-axis will be, or tau axis will be represented by solid. Why? Because infinite amount of shear stress is required for this deformation. See, in for y axis there is no du by dy. Every point of y axis du by dy is 0. That means there is no deformation. No deformation even though I am applying a large amount of shear stress. Okay, so this represents ideal solid. Next, coming to Newtonian fluid again. So how we'll plot Newtonian fluid? So this is what? Y equals to mx type of graph. So it is straight line only. Okay, so it will be represented by this is our Newtonian fluid, where n value is 1, straight line, and y equals to mx passes through origin. Here also it is passing through origin. Now coming to non-Newtonian fluid. Non-Newtonian fluid, it is represented by this equation. Okay, it follows this equation. Now if I take tau y equals to 0, tau y is minimum yield stress required for deformation. If I take tau y equals to 0, then it is represented by this particular case equation only. Okay, so pseudoplastic. Pseudoplastic is a fluid in which the apparent viscosity, the viscosity decreases with increasing deformation rate. Okay, the example is milk or blood. So, and as we know, the slope represent the viscosity. Here if I talk about this Newtonian fluid, the slope is constant, so viscosity is constant, which is mu. So slope of this line is mu. Okay, so coming to pseudoplastic, pseudoplastic is this curve. So if you see here, the slope is continuously reducing, means viscosity is continuously reducing with deformation. Here with deformation means with flow. Deformation means whenever I'm talking about deformation, it is about flow. So whenever a fluid is flowing, the viscosity is constant for Newtonian fluid, but for pseudoplastic, when the fluid flows, its viscosity also changes and its viscosity will reduce. Okay, and example is milk or blood. Okay, then next comes is dilatant fluid. In this case, the viscosity will increase with deformation rate. Means when the fluid will flow, the viscosity will increase. Okay, and the example is honey or saturated sugar solution. So I will compare this to, if I take if I take a plate, inclined plate, okay, I'm taking an inclined plate here. I'm taking an inclined plate here, okay, and if I put few drops of milk here, okay, and few drops of honey here, few drops of honey here, okay, what will happen? Both will flow down. But if you observe one thing, the milk will continuously flow, and with after some time, if you see, its velocity will increase and it will rush to the bottom, okay. But for honey, it will flow, and if you notice, its velocity will reduce. When it is flowing, no, its velocity will reduce, and after some time it will stop also. Why so? Because when it is deforming, or when it is flowing, its viscosity is increasing. But in case of liquid, the viscosity is milk, okay, or water, if you take, the viscosity is decreasing, okay. Means that's why if you see, after some time its velocity is increasing and it is rushing towards the bottom. But in case of our this honey, okay, this you can feel that its viscosity is increasing. That's why it is slowing down, its velocity is reducing and will stop after sometime it will not flow. Okay, this experiment you can do. And also, if you you know, saturated sugar solution for making rasogullas, we know, we make this saturated sugar solution. So if we saturate the water with sugar, okay, it will become thick. Now if you continuously stir it, what will happen? It will become further thick. Okay, so before making the rasagulla, what we do is we usually stir it to make it more thick. Now, next comes is Bingham plastic. So, what is Bingham plastic? It is a plastic which will, or it is a fluid, sorry, it is a fluid which behaves as a solid until a minimum shear stress. What this tau I, okay, a minimum shear stress is reached, and then only it will start flowing. Okay, so if I talk about a cream or toothpaste, okay, initially they will be look like a solid, but when you apply a shear stress, or a minimum shear stress is required, see, it is starting from here, not here. Pseudoplastic, dilatant Newton fluid, or starting from here only, because they do not require this minimum yield stress. The moment you apply minimum small amount of shear stress, they will flow. But in this case, it requires a minimum amount of shear stress. Okay, it requires a minimum amount of shear stress. So like cream or toothpaste, when we apply a shear stress for toothpaste, then only it starts flowing and come out from that thing, but the toothpaste come out. Okay, so a minimum shear stress is required, and then it behaves as a fluid and it will start flowing. Okay, so that is a Bingham. It is also known as ideal plastic. Okay, now next come is thixotropic. Okay, in this case, the viscosity decreases with time. See, you should notice the difference between thixotropic and pseudoplastic. Thixotropic, in pseudoplastic, viscosity decreases with deformation rate. Viscosity decreases with flow or deformation rate. In thixotropic, viscosity decreases with time and not the deformation rate. It decreases with time. Example is paint. So now if you buy paint, if you buy a paint, if you see paint initially, it will look like something like solid. It is very thick. Okay, it's not completely like a solid, okay, but it is very thick, almost like a solid. Okay, now you cannot apply directly that paint over a body. So you may notice that what painter usually do is, first they will stir it properly for some time. They will stir the paint properly for some time. What they are trying to do is, they are trying to reduce the viscosity. So with time they are reducing the viscosity so that it can be easily applied over the body. Okay, or it can easily flow over a body. So because its viscosity has reduced now. Okay, so before applying a paint, you should stir it properly to reduce the viscosity, apparent viscosity with time. Okay, under the application of constant shear stress. So this is thixotropic fluid. Next is rheopectic fluid. Okay, in this the viscosity increases with time. Okay, under the application of shear stress. Example is printer screen ink. Okay, now again, okay, slope spelling is wrong, slope. Okay, now again, the slope of curve represent the viscosity of fluid in the graph. So every time, like in Newtonian fluid, the viscosity is constant. The slope is represented by the viscosity is represented by the slope of this curve. So it is constant here. Here the slope is reducing, the viscosity is reducing for pseudoplastic. For dilatant, so slope is c increasing continuously, so viscosity is increasing with deformation. That's why we call it as shear thickening fluid. With shear it is thickening. Okay, shear thickening fluid. Next comes is, now we'll study about surface tension. Okay, this is also very important and interesting topic. Okay, so surface tension, uh, before that we should know about what is cohesion and what is adhesion. Okay, then we'll study about surface tension. So what is cohesion? Cohesion is, it is intermolecular attraction force between molecule of same liquid. If I talk about this particular example, this is liquid. Okay, so this liquid is having molecules. So if I talk about the intermolecular force between these molecules, same liquid molecules. Okay, if I talk about these intermolecular forces, okay, then it is cohesion force, force between same molecules or same liquid molecules. Now what is adhesion? It is attraction between molecule of liquid and molecule of solid boundary, molecule of liquid and molecules of solid boundary surface. Like this black dot represent molecule of that beaker or solid, and this molecule represent molecule of liquid. So if I talk about the intermolecular force between these two, it is adhesion. Cohesion, force between same type of molecules. Adhesion, intermolecular force between different type of molecule. Here also if you see, uh, above this is a free surface. Liquid will form free surface. Above free surface there is air, so there air is having different molecule, this is having different molecule. So this force, intermolecular force, also is adhesion. Okay, now we'll see what is surface tension. Okay, surface tension, it is tension on the surface by name. Okay, we'll try to understand this thing. See, if I talk about this molecule, it is being equally pulled by the nearby molecules. These molecules, it is being equally pulled by the nearby molecules, so net force on the molecule is almost zero. Okay, equal force from all the direction for this particular molecule. Okay, now if I talk about this molecule at the surface, if you see, there is no liquid molecule above. Here there is no liquid molecule. We are having or air molecule, but we are not having a liquid molecule. So what is happening? From sides it is having similar kind of force of attraction from the nearby molecule. But as in vertical direction, if I talk about vertical direction, there is more pull. If the cohesion force is more, then there is a more pull by the molecule of liquid, so it will have, then compared to the means it is having more pull between the molecule of same liquid than molecule of liquid and air. This force is less and this force is more. That's why what happens here is a net force is being generated in downward direction. Okay, now to understand this thing, if I am having a string attached between two, see this is string and this is attached between two walls. Okay, now the moment I apply a weight, initially it is straight. Okay, initially it is straight. Now the moment I apply this weight, what will happen? A tension will, it will take this shape and tension will generate like this. Okay, so same kind of phenomena is also happening here. What is happening? A net force is acting in downward direction because of unbalanced force in between this molecule, surface molecule of between air and this molecule, and this molecule and molecule within the liquid. Okay, so there is a net downward force. So what is happening is this particular molecule is being pulled in downward direction. Now we are pulling in downward direction, so what will happen? This nearby molecule will not allow this to go downward, to move downward. Okay, they will pull it, they will try to pull it in this direction, like this. They will try to pull it in this direction. So what happens? A tension is generated on the free surface. Okay, and it is happening at the surface. Tension is generating at the surface. That's why you call it as a surface tension. Okay, this phenomena will happen only at the surface, not inside. It will only happen at the surface. So a at free surface, a thin layer of molecules is formed here. Okay, now there is a force between there is addition force between this one, this molecule of solid and molecule of liquid, here also and here also. So it will, so if the addition force is more, this force is more, what happens is it will form a shape like this at the surface. This is what called as meniscus. Okay, if this force, adhesion force, is more than cohesion force, then it will take this shape. And if cohesion force, like this intermolecular forces, is more than adhesion force, then it will take like this shape. So this meniscus. So this we'll see in detail in next slide. Okay, now next we'll see the unit for surface tension. See, surface tension is force per unit length, because this force is acting on this particular length. So it is always force per unit length. So unit is also Newton per meter. Okay, next is surfactants. Now what is surfactants? It reduces the surface tension of fluid. Okay, see, if I talk about any detergent, Surf Excel, Ariel, any detergent, okay, what they are selling is surfactants only. Okay, what they are selling is surfactants. They are having surfactants will reduce the surface tension of water. And if the surface tension of water is reduced, then it can easily go inside the pores of the fabric or cloth. Okay, and if surface tension is more, then it cannot go inside the pores of the fabric or cloth, and it will not wash it properly. So to wash it properly, it should go inside the pores of the fabric. Okay, so for that, surface tension property should be reduced, and this surfactant reduces that surface tension property. That's why they call it surf. That's why we call it surf. Okay, surf is something which reduces the surface tension of water. Now this we speak of surface tension for on liquid only, at liquid or liquid gas. Like it will only form at the surface, and it will be between liquid all air, or it may happen that oil is here. Here we have some liquid, and here we are having oil. Like here we have water, here we have oil. Then also there will be a surface tension in between the layer. Next we'll see pressure inside a water droplet or soap bubble and a liquid jet. So first we'll see water droplet. See, if I put a few drops of water on a table, if this is a table, okay, if this is a table, and if I put some drop of water, it will take something like this shape, spherical shape, like this. Why so? Because of surface tension only. See, the molecules, see here, all around here we are having air, surrounding is air. Okay, so here we'll have air molecule, and at the surface we'll have water molecule. Now this surface molecule will be pulled inward from all the direction, because of cohesion force. Okay, because of cohesion force, so it will be pulled inward from all the directions, like this, from all the direction. So that it will attain a minimum surface area shape. Okay, and sphere is having minimum surface area, so it will take a shape of sphere. That's why we see a droplet will try to form a spherical shape. Okay, because of this only the molecules will try to pull it inward, because of the cohesion force. Now if I do force balance, if I take half of the, like, if it is having a full sphere, and if I take half of this, if I take half of this and if I do force balance, see, surface tension acts on the surface, so it is acting on this surface, it is acting on this surface. Okay, it will act all around this thing, all around this surface. See, all this thing is surface na, so all around this surface tension will be there. Okay, now inside this bubble, water bubble or droplet, sorry, inside the water droplet will have some pressure, and outside air is at atmospheric pressure. Now the pressure difference will be delta P, which is P minus P atmospheric. Okay, now because of this pressure difference and this pressure difference is acting all over this area. Okay, there is, see, if I talk about this thing, this is like this. So all over the circumference, all over the circumference, we are having this surface tension like this, all over the circumference, and inside everywhere we are having this, inside everywhere we are having this pressure acting on this area. Okay, so because of pressure there will be a force, pressure multiplied by area, so it is acting all around this thing, which is a circle. So circle area is pi by 4 diameter square, so delta P multiplied by pi by 4 diameter square will give a force in this direction, and this will be balanced by the surface tension. Now we know surface tension is force per unit length, so this is force per unit length multiplied by length. Length is pi into d. For circle, what is the length or circumference? It is pi into d. So pi into d, and delta p into area. So force, see, pressure into area is force, and surface tension into length is force. So you should note the difference. This is length and this is area. Now with this force balance, what we get is the pressure difference P minus P atmosphere is 4 sigma divided by d. Okay, so this is the pressure difference. So in numericals they usually ask what is the pressure difference between inside a water droplet, then you should calculate 4 sigma by d. But if they are asking what is the pressure inside the water droplet, then it is not only 4 sigma by d, you have to calculate p. 4 sigma by d is delta p. Okay, so what you have to do, delta p is p minus p atm. Delta p is p minus p atm, and this you have calculated as 4 sigma d. So to calculate p atm, to calculate p, you will have to add p atm, p atmosphere to this particular thing, 4 sigma by d. Okay, then you will get pressure. Now coming to soap bubble, see, this is a soap bubble. So soap bubble usually have two surfaces. See, liquid water droplet is only having one surface, which is outside. Inside it is water only. But soap bubble, if you see, inside also there is air and outside also there is air. So as it is having air surface, two surfaces, two places we are having air, so it is having two surfaces. So it will have two surface tension, one inside and one outside. See, two lines are represented. This line representing inside surface, this line, outer line, represent surface tension for outer surface. So it will have two surface. So again if I talk about this thing, again if I talk about this force balance. Okay, so it will be similar like water droplet, the only difference is 2 sigma will come, so we'll have 2 sigma, other things will be same, so final equation will get 8 sigma by d. So that's why, see, here we are having two surface tension, that's why the bubble can flow in air because its surface tension is more, so it is not easily breakable as it is as the water is. Water you can break easily, but soap bubble require means is having more surface tension, so it can form that spherical shape. Okay, because of this surface tension, it can float. Okay, next is liquid jet. So if I am having a liquid jet like this, okay, so here also on the surface I will have surface tension. To do the analysis, what I will do, I will divide it into two parts, and I will take only this top surface here. Okay, so this is a liquid jet. Okay, and it is having a length L. Now this surface tension is acting on the this surface tension is acting on the surface. Okay, so it will have on this edge also. So this surface starts from this edge and ending on this particular this dashed edge. So this edge and the inner edge. So surface tension will act on this one, red, represented by these red lines. Okay, and the inner dotted line represented by this blue lines. So two places on the two lengths we will have this surface tension. So if I do the force balance, I will have sigma multiplied by 2L. See, sigma per unit length, so we have two lengths, one is this one and one is this inside one. Okay, so sigma multiplied by 2L. Okay, or you can see it like this. If I make a rectangle like this, okay, and if I make something like this, okay, so this is a rectangle. Okay, and this is that circular thing. So here on this edge, and on this edge we are having surface tension. On this edge also we are having surface tension. Okay, so this is half only, huh, this is half. So okay, so L sigma into L, sigma into L plus sigma into L. So that's why I have taken 2L here. Now again pressure, P pressure will be there, and inside this thing, and outside P atmospheric, and it will be acting on this rectangle full area. It will be acting on this full area. It will be acting on this full area. So the area is a rectangle. Rectangle area, this is length and this is width, which is the diameter of the this thing. See, this is diameter and this is the length. It will form a rectangle, L into D. So this is the area. So delta P into L into D, I will get delta P equals to 2 sigma by D. Okay. Now you might have noticed a insect can float over a water. If you carefully put a pin, okay, it can float over a water. Why? It is because of surface tension. So if I take a see, if how to do this analysis, I will take a pin like this is a pin. I will take a cylindrical pin like this. Okay, but I will take a cylindrical pin like this, and if I see from this direction, if I see from this particular direction, okay, so it will look like this circle. Now initially the free surface will be like this only. It will be completely filled by water initially. Now the free surface will be here only. Now the moment I put the spin, what will happen? There will be a local depression. See, the insect legs, if you see here, there is a local depression. If you see this spin also, there is a local depression. So it will take a local depression, it will take a curve like this. It will take a curve like this. Now this is surface, and on surface it will have a surface tension, so it will surface tension will act like this. Okay, so the surface tension, which is a force per unit length, is balancing the weight